I'm going to show you the basics of SchoolCity so that you can get around without getting lost. New users often find it difficult to remember where they are and to get around. It isn't a website that most people have used before, and so I'm going to show you kind of help in that regard. First things first, up here, this bar contains most of the things that you'll need. And the first thing I'm going to point out to you is help. If you get lost, if you need anything, click on that help. You can search, you can find a lot of different things, how to get around, like here, basic navigation. And you can go through and check all of these different things. They even have some tutorials, simulators they call it, where you can work through it and check it out there. There's also the contact information. You can call them, they're okay with that. Or you can fill out this form and they will get back to you. Almost all navigation within SchoolCity comes back to this kind of waffle thing here. If you click on it, it opens up the menu and you can go do whatever you need to do. Now the launch pad is back to kind of home base. You can customize this if you want to. Me personally, I never use it. But you might want to check it out, maybe you will. If you need to give an assessment or grade an assessment or anything like that, click on assessments and you can see all the different assessments that are available to you there. Now let me point out that there are multiple different levels of SchoolCity. A lot of times there's a recent tab, but there's usually a My Assessments tab where you could click on things that are yours. They belong to you and no one else can see them, they're just yours. Most people who've been using SchoolCity pretty actively have been using school level, and you notice when I click on that it changes. So now I can see all of the assessments that are being used at the school where I teach. And you see there's quite a few. I'll show you in excuse me. I'll show you in just a minute how to adjust it so that you don't see everybody's, because like me, I don't need to see all this math stuff. I'm not a math teacher. District is where you can see assessments that have been made by district office people. They're mostly made by me or David Blake or Abby Orgel if you're a science teacher. This is how you can see those. And inspect are the pre-made ones. These are made by professionals and professional, not that we're not professionals, but professional test writers. That's all they do. And they make sure that they're robust. They make sure that they're a good predictor for like the SAGE test. So that's how you can get to those. So I'm going to go back to the school tab. I have all these tests, but I teach geography. So how can I do it? Well, first I need to select here. I need to select the level I'm going to look for. And then I need to select my subject. I'm going to turn all of them off because I don't want them all. Geography, so that's social science. And then I'll hit refresh. If I had many different tests in there, like here, I'm seeing geography, but I'm also seeing U.S. history. I don't want that. So I'm going to change this to only, I'm going to change this to only the 9th grade. And so now I can only see the geography tests that were made for the 9th grade. And it's really handy. It's a good way to sort it. The only thing I need to be careful of is now if I click on My Assessments, all of that stuff resets. So be sure that you find the level of assessment that you want and then select the grade and things that you want to do and then hit the refresh button. And then you'll get what you need. Now I need to go back to the other page, and one thing that is annoying within SchoolCity is that the back button doesn't work. There's a few security reasons why they do that. I don't really agree with their choice to do it that way, but instead we've got to go back by clicking up here on the waffle. I can go back to see all the assessments. I can see the item banks, which is where I can see items that were made by someone else. And you'll see again, there's multiple levels of workspaces. If I build one in my workspace and then I'm looking in the school workspace, I won't be able to find it. But most of these were made by SchoolCity themselves. These are the questions that were made by people who check these. They norm reference them against other other things like the SAGE or like ACT so that they're predictive. And you can see here, there's quite a few options, and I can get those down, but I'd use that if I were making a test. Now, my dashboard, this, I never use this. You might find it handy. Just, you can be aware that there it is. And there's the reports. Now this I use all the time. And this is where you can come in and you can find, again, like test results. So it's going to pop up the last test I gave. It's going to give me geography, Latin America. It's going to show me exactly how many students did really well. I have it done because we do a standard-based system. So we have it broken down to where we can see what grade they would have earned. If I scroll down, I can see student names, but I don't want to do that. And you see here at the bottom, I can compare this. So my average percent correct was 85. The campus average, because there's 2 geography teachers, was a little higher than mine. That's embarrassing. Dang it. I'll get her on the next test. I can also select different tests by coming through here, but reports is where you see everything. And if I scroll down farther, I could see exactly how my kids did on the test. And then resources is a place that I can go to find different resources, especially if I'm a math teacher. You see, there's way more there. Or I can upload my own and assign those to students if I need to as remediation. So that's how you get around. If I want to get out of this, I just go back, click on this waffle, and go back to wherever I need to go. I have one last note for you. Some of the tutorials that we made, especially last year in the 2017-2018 school year, don't have this waffle thing. They have a series of words across the top. We don't have time to rebuild every single one of those. But if you click here, you'll be able to see mostly the same categories as were up there. So you won't have any trouble as long as you know, click here and then go to assessments instead of just clicking on the word assessments at the top, and you'll be able to get where you need.